Game 13 of the season here, and Game 2 of the Chicago Cubs series in Wrigley Field. So the Mets, they got to get back on track in this one after losing last night's ball game 3-1 here. With the Cubs just pitching well was Jake Arrieta. The Mets couldn't figure him out, and this hitting the whole season really hasn't figured out many things so far this year. A lot of struggles from Lindor. Pete Alonso, he's only had 1 or 2 good games so far in the first 12. Jeff McNeil, he's been in a huge slump. McCann, he had 1 big game. Brandon Nimmo and Dom Smith, really the only 2 bright spots. Conforto, another guy struggling mightily so far this season. So the pitcher matchups, David Peterson versus Zach Davies. And Zach Davies, he struggled a lot so far this season. 1-2 in the early going with a 10.32 ERA. And Peterson, a mixed bag of results. 1 great outing and 1 poor outing for Peterson. He had a 10 strikeout game versus Philly last week, so hopefully Peterson in Wrigley Field, he could get things going for this team, because this team needs it bad. Yesterday, Tajon Walker only going 3 2/3 of an inning, but the Mets bullpen pitched pretty well, I thought, yesterday, getting through that ball game. And Walker, it was a mixed bag with 7 strikeouts but the 6 walks, so that pitch count definitely ballooned for him getting pulled. And we need Peterson tonight to go 5 or 6 innings at least. I'm hoping 7 or 8. But you don't see that much anymore in baseball this year. Even though DeGrom and Stroman, they've been 2 great pitchers so far for this team. And we've seen 2 no-hitters to start the early season by Carlos Rendon and Joe Musgrove throughout the league. But anyway, tonight, this Met team, they got to find a way to get the bats going. And they got to find a way to get off to a quick start, like a nice 2-0, 3-0 start in the first 2 innings of this game. Davies, like I said, he's been struggling, and there's no reason for the Mets not to hit the soft toss and righty, even though he's got a pretty good track record in his career versus this Met team. And for Peterson, he's just got to throw strikes. He's got to attack hitters. I know the Cubs, they got a pretty good lineup still with a couple core guys in Javier Baez, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant. So Ian Happ's pretty decent, so they got some guys that can hit the baseball. But Peterson here, they're going to probably stack the lineup with a lot of righties, obviously, versus the lefty Peterson. And he just got to hit the strike zone and get things going, like I mentioned early in this ball game, for this Met team to be good tonight here and try to win, because you don't want to lose 2 of them to start this series versus Chicago. And Chicago, they've been struggling on the season with their pitching. 6-9 coming into the series, even though yesterday Jake Arrieta looked pretty good once again, and he's pitched well. But besides him, their pitching hasn't been great. Kyle Hendricks, he got bombed the other night versus the Braves. So there's no excuses here for the Mets to go out there today and get this matchup and this victory versus Zach Davies. And then tomorrow come back for the rubber matchup versus the Chicago Cubs. So right here, let's go Mets. This is Mets realm, and they need the victory tonight. And the bats definitely have to wake up and get going.